The Prisoner is the magical mystery tour of 60s TV. It's bright and colorful and loaded with dystopian Orwellian themes, shaken, not stirred, with spy stuff. The times they were a-changing as our hero resigns from British intelligence and is kidnapped and transported to a place called the Village, where everyone is known only by a number. Our man is number 6. All of this is delivered at the top of each episode in a brilliantly done title sequence. As prisons go, the Village isn't bad. There's miles of beach, quaint little shops, umbrellas everywhere, and even marching bands and parades. It's more of a resort than a prison. Except those marching bands do occasionally feel like torture. Still, you think, not bad, I could live there. That is, until you try to leave, and then it's Rover time. If necessity is the mother of invention, then the creators of this show came through big time with the startling but simple idea of a big balloon as a prison guard. Not only does Rover, that's what they call the balloon, bellow and roar, but it will chase you down and zap you good and proper. The series basically has two narrative devices. One has number 6 always trying to escape, while the other involves methods of trying to find out why he resigned. They do this by use of mock trials, social isolation, and in one of my favorite episodes, manipulating his dreams. The trouble is, he won't tell them why he resigned. The show makes it clear that this is a matter of principle above all else, and when played by Patrick McGoohan, number 6 is the most principled of men. As to who runs the Village, the show makes it clear that it doesn't matter. East, West, Russia, the United States, Cold War, Hot War, it's all one global village, or soon will be. All of this is overseen by number 2, who's played by a revolving cast of British character actors, my favorite being Leo McKern. As for who is number 1, well, we don't find that out until the last of the 17 episodes, and by then, we wish we hadn't. The Prisoner starts smart, but ends with an episode that is so pretentiously silly that many fans in Britain were so upset that McGoohan had to leave the country. Now, that story may be apocryphal, but I have to admit I was a little pissed off myself. This British TV series was a summer replacement here in the States and pretty much knocked everybody out, as did Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Kubrick got away with impressionistic tableau because his compositional eye was so precise, but here we're dealing with another kind of artist, and McGoohan's actor instincts may have led him down the garden path of obscurity masquerading as profundity. Let's throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks. There was a lot of that going on in the 60s. Some of it stuck, and some of it just slid to the floor. But despite its pretensions, The Prisoner stuck because, among other things, it's great to look at. And that's because the storyline provided an arena for all sorts of expressionistic set and lighting designs. And color television was comparatively new at the time, with shows like The Prisoner and Star Trek dazzling the eye. The Prisoner, not surprisingly, has a large fan base that meets annually at Portmeirion, Wales, the resort town where The Prisoner was filmed. There's been a lot of internet chatter over the years as to the origins of The Prisoner. George Orwell aside, it's the brainchild of Patrick McGoohan and writer George Markston. But one can spot The Prisoner's origins in an episode of Secret Agent called Colony 3. Secret Agent was a smart and sophisticated spy show for its time, and many of its themes, particularly dealing with the Third World, were very prescient. It also gave us a very cool Johnny Rivers theme song. Due to rights issues, McGoohan was at great pains to deny that number 6 was in fact John Drake, even though that idea makes a great deal of sense. It sure seemed like the same guy. There are even those fans that believe it's really John Drake in Ice Station Zebra, And because of the way that mission ended, Drake resigned. Personally, I think that's a pretty big stretch, but if you're a fan, that's fun to think about. Whatever the case, McGowan is clearly the driving force behind the show, and according to some, drove everyone crazy. But that's what comes with being number one. McGowan's initial concept for the series only extended to 6 episodes, but that wasn't enough for syndication. So, at Sir Lou Grade's insistence, the show was expanded to 17 episodes. As a consequence, some episodes feel underdeveloped. The first episode is called Arrival, and it's essential as it lays out the groundwork for the rest of the series. The 2 best escape episodes are The Chimes of Big Ben and Many Happy Returns, and they're fun, but my favorites are episodes like A, B, and C, where they manipulate his dreams, trying to get him to reveal why he resigned, and number 6 uses his own dreams to defeat number 2's plans. It's brilliant stuff. And then there is The Schizoid Man, where number 2 and his minions create a double of number 6, hoping that he will have an identity crisis that will fracture his ego. This is classic 60s stuff, as the idea of an identity crisis was a popular notion at the time. Apparently, everyone was having one. The General is also a fun episode. This episode is a spoof on higher education, as the entire village takes part in a course of speed learning. Great stuff. In the end, The Prisoner is very much a product of its time, but still remains relevant today. Perhaps even more so. Be seeing you.